Yo, what is going on, guys? So I just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Actually, I saw it a couple days ago, and I already recorded the video, and so I already edited it and everything. I spent hours on it. I went to go post it on YouTube, and YouTube tells me it's not supported, which I find a little odd considering it's an MP4 file, and that's the file everyone uses. It's the most common file. It's what I've been using. So I find that a little weird. So I go to the supported formats, and of course the number one supported format is MP4. So I don't know what's wrong with that glitch, YouTube, but please fix it because it's really annoying, and I could have had this video uploaded days ago. But honestly, I've had time to gather my thoughts a little more now, so I'm kind of glad it happened. I can't. What? Anyways, I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the 9th film from Quinten Tarantino. Technically the 10th, but he only counts Kill Bill as... Never mind. The 9th film from Quinten Tarantino. Now, I will be going to see this again soon. And when I do, I'm going to have updated thoughts on it, as well as a spoiler talk. So that'll be sometime down the road, maybe in like a week or so. I'll get in all that. And my opinion keeps changing on this movie, and so if I go see it again, click down in my letterbox. That is going to be the most updated review possible, because obviously I can't really update it on YouTube very easily without making a new video. So check out my letterbox down below. Also, I have a ranking of my Tarantino movies in my letterbox down below. I'll be doing a YouTube video on that soon, but a lot of people are hating on this movie. Now, I'm going to go see it a second time so I can really gather my thoughts, because I'm not sure exactly where I stand on it, but I don't think it's that bad. The internet is hating on this movie, and I think the reason why is this movie was marketed kind of the wrong way. It's also not a traditional Tarantino movie. So, it's not a traditional Tarantino movie in the fact that it's a lot slower and more methodical. It's a lot more character-focused and has a lot of lingering shots. It's not as heavy on the dialogue as you'd expect, and it doesn't have as much action as you'd expect. And I do think it's a little worse than his last movie, The Hateful Eight, which a lot of people didn't like to begin with. So, but like I said, I don't really know. This movie has a lot in it, and I think most people have to watch it a second time to really dissect it, because there's just so much crammed in here. But I think if you watch the trailers, you think this is more of a Manson family movie, and that has a ton of action in it and super upbeat, and that's really not the case. This movie is a lot slower, a lot more methodical, a lot of long drawn out shots. It's a very slow paced movie that I feel like honestly they could have cut like 20 minutes out of this movie, and I don't think it would have affected anything. So there are stuff like that where I can understand you not liking this movie. But if you go in it with the expectation that it's a lot slower of a Tarantino movie, it's not a traditional Tarantino movie, I would compare this to probably Jackie Brown or Death Proof. It's a lot more like those movies, or The Nice Guys. It's a lot like The Nice Guys, but with less action. But anyways, this movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio, and he plays an actor named Rick Dalton, who is aging and struggling and just kind of getting pushed out of Hollywood. And Brad Pitt plays his stunt double, Cliff Booth. Now, I think this is a top 5 performance from Leo. It might be a top 3 performance. He kills it in this movie. I mean, he is so good in the scenes where he's acting as an actor is incredible. I absolutely love that stuff. I love the old-timey westerns that they recreate. I love so much of that, and I love two scenes involving a trailer. I think he delivers an Oscar-worthy performance, but I think the highlight of this movie is Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt plays his stuntman, like I said, and he is so good in this movie. This is probably the best Brad Pitt has ever been. It's definitely the best he's been since Fight Club, but I think this might be my favorite performance from him. He's hilarious, especially a scene involving a tire, a cigarette close to the end of the movie, and his fight with Bruce Lee, which I'm sure everyone has seen from the trailers. It's awesome. And Margot Robbie's in this movie too, and she plays Sharon Tate. Now, a lot of people do not like the portrayal of Sharon Tate in this movie. However, I do. I think he made a good choice to portray Sharon Tate the way he did. I think that he handled his Sharon Tate stuff very well. I think it does. I think it's very respectful to Sharon Tate the way he handles the storyline. And I wasn't really sure how he was going to handle it. But unfortunately, she's kind of useless in this movie. She doesn't do a lot other than, I guess, to have the narrative of the Manson family murders, which, if you don't know about the Manson family, I think you should do your research before watching this movie. I went with a friend who knew nothing about the Manson murders, and he was very confused. He didn't really know what was going on a lot, so I think it helps if you know about that. I don't think it spoils anything, so do your research on the Manson family before you watch this movie. There's also so many other great people in this movie. Kurt Russell and Zoe Bell, that scene is hilarious. It's literally one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. Timothy Olyphant is really, really good. Who else is in this? There's so many people in this movie. Mike Moe is Bruce Lee, which is really funny. A lot of people don't like the portrayal of Bruce Lee, but if you actually look up how Bruce Lee was when there weren't cameras at him, he was apparently pretty cocky. He was a lot like that. He tried to fight a lot of people on set, which, I mean, the dude's Bruce Lee, so of course. But, so, I can understand you not liking his portrayal, but I thought it was great. Julia Butters, I think she's like 10 or 12 or something. She kills it. She acts alongside Leo and gives an incredible performance. Al Pacino. There are so many people. And, of course, Luke Perry. That was sad. It was really sad seeing Luke Perry, but he wanted to be in a Tarantino movie, and I'm glad he got to do that before he passed on. So many great performances in this movie. I don't think there's a bad performance in this movie. Everyone is so good. This movie is also shot beautifully. The soundtrack in this movie is incredible, and the sound design is some of the best I've ever heard in a movie. For example, the characters would be talking, and you just hear the little ambient noises of LA in the background. The way Tarantino recreated 1969 Hollywood is just incredible, because it's not CGI. He literally recreated all of Hollywood, and it's just incredible looking. I don't know how he pulled it off. But I can understand people not liking this movie. It's very slow, but for the most part, I think it's a really good movie. This is a lot slower than most Tarantino movies, but it also has a lot of lingering shots that I felt just could be cut. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't understand why it's getting all the hate it's getting. For the most part, I enjoyed it. I think it's a pretty good movie. I don't know exactly where I'd rank it, but right now I'm going to give it maybe like an 82, 83%. Like I said, click my letterbox to be updated. But that's where I'd rank this movie. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and see ya.